Good evening and welcome to Collinsville High School Gymnasium, where tonight the Collinsville Cardinals host the Sand Springs Sandites in Collinsville's last home duel of the season. That means it's senior night, and we will go on to present the seniors along with the public announcer here in the field house. I'm Casey Price, joined by the coach, Tom Redding.
Thank you, Casey. Well, I guess our junior high just wrapped up their duel with Sand Springs, and I believe the score was 57-13. Sand Springs very tough in junior high. Wrestled several freshmen on their junior high team. Their high school team is very competitive. One of the best. I think they're ranked in the top 5 in Class 6A. Right now, they were 4th at the Yukon tournament this last weekend, I believe, and so therefore a lot of their freshmen wrestled with the junior high, and that's kind of what makes junior high wrestling kind of unique. Is it's a combination of 7th, 8th, and 9th grade athletes that make up our junior high team.
Yeah, all competing against one another, so having some younger kids wrestle against the older guys, obviously wrestling at same weights.
Yep.
Moving into the high school match, a lot to look forward to this evening as a powerhouse in Sand Springs matches up with the powerhouse of Collinsville. We're going to go ahead and let Coach Jim Riley, athletic director, announce the seniors here. We'll turn it over to the PA system.
On that wall, there's 3 state championship pictures, and most of these kids are involved in those. And so that's a very, very special play. These guys have been dedicated to this program, and we're going to miss them all when they leave. We're going to start out with a cheerleader, Sydney Smith. Sydney is accompanied by her father, David Flannery, and Shanna Smith. Shanna's interest and accomplishments are senior class officer, being involved in National Honor Society and SWAT, and being salutatorian. Sydney was also the rest of the homecoming queen this year. Another cheerleader who's been with us for 4 years is Taylor Townsend. Walking with Taylor is Tina Dunnigan and Mike Dunnigan and Troy Townsend. She had a 3.7 grade point average. She was football homecoming queen, and she also plays tennis. And our first wrestler is Gary Olivier. He's the son of Sherry and Gary Olivier. Gary has been accepted to OSU, and he is a member of the 2013 Dual State Championship team. Gary also plays baseball. Next up is Keenan Pretty. Walking with Keenan is his mother, Sean Pretty, Grandma Diane Skelly, and his sister Ray. Keenan is a member of the 2013 state runner-up, is a 3-time member of state championship team. He's also a defensive end of the district championship football team. Next up is Dakota Nagar. He is the son of Amos and Carla Nagar. Dakota is a state placer in Missouri. He was a member as a freshman of Collinsville State Championship team, and he was also a member of Missouri State Championship team in the OSHA. Next up is Jacob Finley, who is the son of Shannon and Rick Finley. He is also a member of all 3 state championships, dual MP, state championship in Collinsville, and last year, Jacob was a runner-up at 120 pounds. Next up is Will Stelson. Will is the son of Gary and Gayla Stelson. He is a 3.5 GPA. And Will is a three-time state champion. They're going for his fourth this February. And last but not least is Gary Wayne Harding. Gary is the son of Coach Weston Harding and Kim Harding. Gary Wayne is a three-time state champion, going for his fourth this February. He's also a two-time Fargo All-American, and he has signed with OSU. Ladies and gentlemen, a very special welcome or a round of applause for this group of seniors. Y'all want to close that gap there for Mr. Taylor? There you go. Good job. Slide. Groups like this don't come along all the time. That's why we put their picture on the wall so we can remember when they're gone.
All right, Coach, to kind of echo the things that Athletic Director Jim Riley just spoke about, the dominance this group of seniors has been a part of as far as the state championships this team has been able to accumulate. Like while they were here, especially leaders like Will Stelton and Gary Wayne Harding, three-time back-to-back state champions individually and obviously with the team. It's been kind of a thing that has grown in this community. The wrestling program has just really attracted a lot of people to it. And what would you add to that that Coach Riley spoke about for these guys?
Well, you got to have great athletes to make those kinds of accomplishments. And with great athletes, you got to have great parents, and you got to have great coaching. And Wes Harding and Mike Henry have done just an outstanding job giving this team the guidance that they need the last several years to be at the point where they are right now. And a lot of these wrestlers wrestled in the elementary program, and our freshman 106-pounder Nate Kime, his dad Mike Kime, leads that group up down in our elementary program, and it's probably one of the strongest elementary programs in the entire state of Oklahoma. Every Wednesday night they have an open session, and there's athletes that come in from 100 miles of this radius to work with Coach Harding and Coach Kime and Coach Henry because they do an outstanding job.
Yeah, and I was going to say when you were talking about the success of the high school program, it doesn't start there. You know, any good program in any sport, the coaches don't just get them at the high school level, especially in smaller school systems, which Collinsville's 5A now, but we're still more of that small school mentality. And it starts at the younger levels and developing kids when they're young. And I think this program has definitely developed a name for itself. And like you mentioned, drawing people from all over the state and other states. And talked about one of the kids on the team, senior Dakota McGrath, has wrestled both at Neosho and here at Collinsville, been a part of two state championship teams respectively. So quite an accomplishment for Coach Harding and his coaching staff.
You bet. Let's talk just a little bit about last weekend. Our wrestlers were at the Yukon tournament, and we had one champion. It's a very tough tournament. I mean, they had teams from Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma. We had Gary Wayne Harding was crowned champion. Along with Gary Wayne at second place was Nate Kime, Jacob Finley, and Christian Moody. Wyatt Jordan was third. Justin Walker was fourth. Brock Robbins, who is out tonight because of a staph infection shingles, has shingles in his eye, was fifth. Collinsville led the tournament after the first day of competition, and I think one of the things that really hurt us is that Will Stelton has not been able to participate because he has an injury, and that really hurt us in the championship rounds. we end up taking second to Perry, Edmond North, Class 6A school, and Sand Springs and Yukon. All right, were third, fourth, and fifth respectively. So, outstanding job by our wrestlers last weekend. Our junior high, as we mentioned earlier, just finished up their duel tonight with Sand Springs. They wrestled yesterday also. It's tough to do, wrestle back to back, and they wrestled the Metro Lakes Conference tournament at Coweta yesterday, and we were second behind Coweta. Had a few things go bad for us, and some kids got in trouble, but not outside of school. He's got in trouble on the mat, and but a good strong second place at the Metro Lakes Conference.
Yeah, and a tournament would be a lot different as far as taxing on a wrestler than a duel, because in a tournament, guys are going to go and they're going to wrestle multiple matches in that day, whereas in the duel, they just face one opponent and then they're done for the evening, which is what we'll see tonight. It appears like Will Stelton won't be wrestling tonight. He's not on the card. He's obviously was announced with senior night, but still sitting out. Coach probably going to make sure he gets him fully recovered before it gets closer to that time of the state tournament and the state duel.
Exactly. Looking ahead a little bit on some dates. Speaking of the state tournament, it's February 28th and March 1st. Again, it's in Oklahoma City at the Big House. To qualify to go there, you have to be a top 4 placer at regionals. Regionals is February 21st and 22nd. The site has not yet been determined because of the power ratings that the coaches turn in. It should be announced here in the next week or so. Dual State, though, has a site. Dual State is February 14th and 15th. Is that 2 weeks? I believe that's 2 weeks away. 14th and 15th of February. For 5A and 6A, it'll be at Yukon, and it's a remarkable facility. So make plans to be at Dual State for state tournament in Oklahoma City. Regionals will be somewhere in this area, Tulsa, Claremore, could maybe even here in Collinsville.
Well, I remember in the previous two years, Dual State was a very good location for the Collinsville crowd because it was at Skytook in 2011.
And it was a big upset.
13.
Upset.
Yeah. And then in 2013, it was over in Claremore.
Yes.
So a big crowd there for Collinsville at both of those sites, as it should have been when you're traveling 15 miles one way just to get to it. So hopefully the Collinsville crowd will make the trip down to Yukon to support this team as well in attempting for their 4th dual state championship.
You betcha. Just throw this out while we're speaking right now. Our basketball teams, our high school basketball teams, are at Oologah competing in a series of games up there at Oologah. And I hadn't heard any scores. Anybody around here?
Well, the girls' game probably somewhere like around halftime. They start at 6 this season, I believe. Girls basketball starts at 6 this season. So, yeah, they're probably at half in the girls' basketball game. I believe the girls' team beat Oologah earlier in this year when they had them at home. So hopefully they can do the same thing tonight.
Coach Campbell doing an outstanding job with that program.
Yeah, and wouldn't expect any less from a legendary coach like Coach Campbell, who has so many wins on his resume, done a lot for girls basketball in this area of the state. We're about 12 minutes away from our first match here in the gym.
Coach, just step back in just a moment and go away from athletics. We had our Chamber of Commerce had their banquet this past weekend, and they had some awards for some of our citizens and teachers in the community and within the school system. They gave an award, the Youth Education Award, went to our superintendent, Terry Dew, for his leadership in that area. Also, here at Collinsville High School, our school library media specialist and resource center, Lynn Gowler, was given that award also. So very well deserving. We had teachers from other sites receive awards. I'd like to congratulate them on that. The 2013 Ambassador Award given by the Chamber was given to our head high school football coach, Kevin Jones. I'd like to congratulate Kevin on that award. It's very, very honorary. So a lot of good things in our community going on with are being recognized. We have our Teacher of the Year candidates from each building that will be coming up here this spring. Is that correct? I don't know what the date is.
Well, I know the high school, I know each site has their site school Teacher of the Year. I know
Right.
the high schools was
Yes.
Tony Slagle. Do you know who the other site's teachers
Tony
of the year
Slagle
were?
teaches math here at the high school. At the middle school is Michelle Cross. Michelle has kids in our school system. Connor is one of our football players.
Good
and
kid.
A great kid to be around. At Harold Elementary, we have Luana Carl. At Wilson was Dana Banning. And at our early childhood center, Kelly Overholt. I'd like to congratulate them on receiving those awards. And it means a lot to teachers because to receive these awards, they're voted on by their peers. So it means an awful lot.
Absolutely. All right, Tom, well, let's go to a quick commercial break here before the match begins, and we'll be back a little bit closer to the time for action.
Drive down Route 66 and see the Meltons.
Well, ain't that something?
It's here, where the entire Melton family changed the negative dealership drama.
Forever.
This is a showroom. Yep, that's a pool table.
These are the salespeople. Yep, there are none.
Unlocked cars? Yep, even on Sundays. Granddad paid off the building. Yep, we sell cars for fun.
Translation, car buying can be a negative experience, so we changed it. You're welcome.
Melton Sales on Route 66 in Claremore. Jump on it.
Can I get a ham and Swiss sandwich with extra cheese, please?
Back here at Collinsville High School Gymnasium, where both the Cardinals and the Sandites are preparing for this dual match to begin. Warming up on the mat are both teams, and take this time to announce the fellas wrestling for the Cardinals tonight. We've got freshman Nate Kine, junior Christian Moody, senior Jacob Findley, sophomore Justin Walker, freshman Eli Tanner, senior Dakota McGrath, senior Gary Wayne Harding, junior Wyatt Jordan, sophomore Josh Arnold, sophomore Corey Cash, senior Gary Olivier, senior Keenan Pretty, and junior Jake Douglas. Mentioned some of those fellas that have been on the previous state title teams. Christian Moody's been a part of those teams. Finley has been a part of those teams. Harding has definitely been a part. McGrath was apparently a part of the freshman team here. Wyatt Jordan, Gary Olivier was a part of those teams. Rock Robbins was a part of last year's state tournament team. Keenan Pretty and Jake Douglas was also a member of last year's state tournament team.
You know, Coach, several of these athletes participate in more than one sport. They just don't wrestle.
Yeah, it's student athletes like Jake Douglas, Keenan Pretty both play football. Jake Douglas, heck of an offensive lineman for the Cardinals this season in the outstanding football team and season that the high school varsity football team managed to put together. Keenan Pretty had an awesome year as a defensive end as well. Let's see. I know Corey Cash also plays football.
Did you mention Josh Arnold?
Josh Arnold came in and started at linebacker this season. He was just a huge surprise to me because he's kind of undersized for a 5A linebacker, and man, he gets the job done. He's got a nose for the ball.
And he's tough. And
He's very tough.
He's really matured as an athlete in the last, I would say, during the playoffs and in the wrestling season, he has matured so much. The mental mindset that you have to be a competitor at a 5A level in varsity competition.
Yeah, and I imagine, getting deeper into that football season and now being a part of this wrestling program where so much is expected out of you, it would be hard to not mature as an athlete. So I imagine that's been a great help to him. We mentioned some of the guys that also play baseball. I know Christian Moody in the past has played baseball. Gary Olivier plays baseball. Am I missing anybody out there that
Wyatt
also?
Jordan.
Wyatt also plays baseball.
I think Jacob plays baseball also. I don't know for sure. I can't remember.
So a lot of dual sport athletes on this squad here for the Cardinals. I don't see any of them that also run track. I mean, that might be something you need to kind of step on here. Aren't you kind of the track coach around here?
Well,
Can't recruit any of these guys to throw the shot or
Coach,
run a little distance for us? I mean, that's like an automatic transition from wrestling, isn't it?
You are the track guru.
I'm not old enough to be a guru of anything yet.
The rings that you have in running, I'm very modest, and it's an honor to even be here beside you doing this announcing. But actually, Coach, Rock Robbins has been a part of our track program. Jake Douglas has done a little bit in the field events, and that's really it because Nate Kime in his younger days, he's a freshman, was in our track program. He was a quarter miler. It's very difficult for an athlete to come out of wrestling in March, and his body is pretty much dehydrated, and jump in there and be real effective in track these days. Not that they can't do it, it's just that not many of them choose that route anymore, and I understand why, because they're very fatigued when the season's over with. They go to Kansas City, they go to Gary, which is the most prestigious tournament in Oklahoma, maybe in this part of the country. There's a lot of pressure put on. They start back in the fall. They went to the East Coast and wrestled out there. Several of them did. So it's a very demanding sport mentally as well as physically, but the mental part it's really tough on them.
Yeah, and even on top of that, talking about some of these guys that play football then transition into wrestling to go into a spring sport as well makes a little bit of sense. I mean, I would still love to see some of these guys make it out for the track program, however.
Before I forget, Coach, next Tuesday night, our junior high and high school travels to Cushing to wrestle at Cushing. And Cushing has an outstanding program in Class 4A. And if you get a chance to drive over to Cushing, it's about an hour's drive. It's just west of Sapulpa, about 20 minutes. I think you'll be really entertained. Tonight's match, we have got our hands full. We better bring our A game. Sand Springs is a very mature team, and they deserve I believe they're ranked 4th in Class 6A, and they very well deserve that ranking.
And like we mentioned, the Cardinals are going to be without 2 of the guys that normally wrestle in the starting lineup for them in Rock Robbins and Will Stelzen.
Yes. Collinsville recently has developed a lot of tradition in wrestling. Sand Springs, I don't know if I should tell everybody this, but I'm an old graduate at Sapulpa High School, and they were one of our biggest rivals. And in 1971, my senior year, Sand Springs won the state wrestling tournament in Class 4A. which at that time was the largest class in wrestling. So the Sandites have been very competitive over the years. They had a coach in there at that time named Bobby Lyons. Bobby Lyons is one of the most popular wrestling coaches in the country. He's followed by a gentleman sitting right over here, Alan Carstetter, a former Sandite coach, and Kelly Smith is now the head coach of the Sand Springs Sandites.
All right, we're going to listen in here for the playing of the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Catholics community with our national anthem.
All right.
I'm glad everybody is here tonight for this battle between the 6A Power and your defending state champion Collinsville Cardinals 5A Power. Sand Springs is rated currently 4th in 6A, and they're going up against the Cardinals. At 106 pounds for the Sandites, Justin Ward or Cody Randolph. And for the Cardinals, Nate Kine. At 113 pounds for the Sandites, Dayton Fix. And for the Cardinals, Christian Moody.
Fix, I'll tell you a story about him in just a minute.
For the Sandites, John Jimenez. And for the Cardinals, Jacob Finley. 126 pounds for the Sandites, Cody Carstetter. And for the Cardinals, Justin Walker. And 132 pounds for the Sandites, Bo Batcher. Ethan Wicker. And for the Cardinals, Eli Tanner or Dakota McGar. At 138 pounds, one of those boys will wrestle, and they'll be facing Gary Wayne Hardy. At 145 pounds, for the Sandites, Michael Singleton, and he may face Gary Hardy. At 152, for the Sandites, Jared Stites, and for the Cardinals, Wyatt Jordan. At 160 pounds, for the Sandites, Lane Latish, and for the Cardinals, Josh Arnold. At 170 pounds, for the Sandites, Trace Fleshman. For the Cardinals, Corey Cash. At 182 pounds, Zach Sims for the Sandites, and he will be facing a forfeit. At 195, Delvin Jordan for the Sandites, and for the Cardinals, Gary Olivier. At 120 pounds, For the Sandite, Tyler Childer. And for the Cardinals, Keenan Pretty. And at heavyweight, for the Sandite, it's either Peyton Ayers or Dakota Skaggs. And for the Cardinals, Jay Douglas. The Sandites are coached by Kelly Smith, and the Cardinals are coached by Weston Hardy.
Okay, at this time, the wrestlers are meeting out there with our official J.R. Gloss, and they're going to flip, Coach, for whose choice it is in the second period. They'll flip for odd or even matches, okay? And there's a lot of strategy in this with the coaches. And it looks like I can't tell what the official said, whose choice it'll be.
Well, Collinsville won the
Collinsville.
toss, so I'm not sure what they elected to do. I guess you'll be able to tell in the second round here on this one.
Right.
On first for the Cardinals, Nate Kime. I believe this is Cody Randall he's facing. This is the 106 weight division here.
Nate has done an outstanding job. Shot very deep right there for the double leg. Needs to elevate. Bring it up. There he goes, climbing up, and there's 2 points for a takedown right there. Good job, Nate.
This might be an important
Very
weight
important.
class here, as all of these matches will be important with it being such a close match.
And plus, we're giving up 12 points right off the get-go with a Boyd at 182 and then one possibly
Either 138 or 145.
something, yes.
So on those voids, you give up the maximum amount of points,
6.
which is 6,
Yes.
which is what a kid would get for a pin.
Correct. Get your head up.
Like we mentioned earlier, Kime here for Collinsville, only a freshman. So he's been called up to the big leagues here for the Cardinals.
Of course, this is his dream come true. His dad was a state champion and a national champion. Is in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And Nate's just following right in his footsteps, and I think he's going to be a great one. I really do.
Be the next. He's kind of the future
Yes.
of the program here
Yes.
for Collinsville, apparently. Good defense there on the takedown attempt.
This could end up in a stalemate situation. Neither wrestler can advance, improve their position. Nate,
Looks like Nate does have
get your
Cody's
hips,
left
Get
arm.
your hips up a little bit. To me, that's a stalemate. Restart them. But I'm not the official.
It's like Sand
So
Springs.
Sand Springs got their odd matches. Get their choice on odd matches.
So Nate gets up from this, and he gets a point for Collinsville.
If he gets to his feet and gets an escape where the Sand Springs wrestler doesn't have control, that's an escape, and he receives 1 point. And there's 1 point right there.
So right now, score 3-1 here in honor of Kime and the Cardinals.
Oh, get your elbow down. Oh, we're in trouble. Penetrate. That boy. Good job. That was good wrestling. We just hold our own right here. We're going to be fine going in that second period.
Minute left in this one. So do you know how the out of bounds works? Because it seems like it varies. Sometimes the official calls it out of bounds when, when both are fully out of bounds. Sometimes it's when one's completely
one wrestler
out.
can be in, and one wrestler can be out, and you're still in bounds wrestling. Both wrestlers have to have a supporting part of their body to be considered out of bounds. Hands, feet, right here, you see that we have one in, one out, so they continue to wrestle.
I see. So as long as one wrestler is established in bounds.
Yes.
See, didn't he just call that out of bounds?
Well,
Because he fell?
yes, he
Okay.
came out of bounds. Both wrestlers came out of bounds.
Okay. 20 seconds left here. Keim still leads 3-1. Second period.
Duck under attempt right there. Good block by Nate.
Ooh,
Be
get him.
careful. Be careful, Nate. Be careful. There we go. Settle. They both went out of bounds. That's why we're up even.
That might have been one of his best shots there, getting him to a pin situation. That'll be the end of the period, however.
End of the second period, and Nate's going to take neutral. Need to have movement, Nate. Keep moving.
So in all your years of coaching, have you ever coached wrestling?
I set it back a few years. Yes, I coached. I coached at Owasso back in the early '80s, and in Texas a little bit. I coached some wrestling, but I wrestled in high school and did all that good stuff. So that's mine.
You set it back a few years in the early 80s,
Yes.
huh?
Come on, Nate. Drag it.
All right.
Got it. Keep moving.
So Randall here obviously needing to score a takedown or get some points in some manner. So he appears to me to be a little bit more aggressive at this point in the match.
He is. Nate's being very careful. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. Force your opponent right here to make the mistake, to shoot, have his head down. But we're gonna have to be a little bit more aggressive and wrestle to the center of the mat. If we'll just wrestle to the center of the mat right there where he is, we'll be okay.
Sand Springs fans getting loud over here.
Now just keep what you got. Try to scoot your hips away from him.
Down to 15 seconds. Keim trying not to give up points.
Gonna try to come out the back door.
Down
Come
to
on.
5.
Hang on, little guy. Come on. Hang on, little guy. All right.
Time.
Outstanding. Outstanding match by Nate Keim. Wins the bout 3-1.
And that gives the Cardinals the early 3-point lead in the duel.
Next we have Christian Moody.
He's going to be wrestling Dayton Fix. This is the 113-pound match.
Fix's dad was a national champion at OSU. Oh, great wrestling. Christian is 2012 state runner-up and 2013 state champion. He was ill this morning, had some respiratory issues.
Yeah, I was going to mention he's definitely a seasoned vet here for the Cardinals. And a junior still managing to wrestle down at the 113-pound division. That's got to be an advantage for you, I would think.
Oh, it does. I believe these two wrestled last weekend in the finals at the UConn tournament.
So a lot of familiarity here for these guys. Do you know who won?
Well, Christian was second.
Oh, okay. So we do know who won. He's going to get him back here, though, on his
That's
home.
right.
On his home.
Oh, here we go.
Floor.
Oh. Great wrestling. Great wrestling.
That got his bench riled up for sure. Down to 55 seconds in this period.
These wrestlers at these weights are so quick.
Makes it really fun to watch.
Yes.
And they're very
Lots of
technical
action.
still, as well as quick, fast. Can't really make mistakes at this level where you can capitalize with the speed that these guys have.
Exactly. Christian got a hip lock. He's got the hip
Almost
lock
had
in.
an
Oh,
ankle.
he broke the hip lock. 2-point takedown. That was good wrestling.
See if
Puts
Christian can
crossbody.
get out here in the next 5 seconds. Might have scored a point.
Oh, we got near fall points coming. Got a tilt. That hurt. That hurt us right there.
So that improves the score for Dayton Fix 5-0 here against Moody. Moody's going to start in the down position here.
But Christian gonna. There you go. Elevate it. Come on. Can't sit there with it. Come on.
Fix has
The
Moody's
official-
ankle here.
Official indicating that Sand Springs still has control when he sticks his hand out there like that with the green armband.
All right.
Sand Springs tonight is green.
Collinsville be red.
Collins will be red. That's a stalemate situation. Neither wrestler can improve their position. See, Christian changes his. He did. He hit a stand up, and oh, he got the one. Outstanding. Great
Point
move.
here. Christian, 5-1 now, minute 18 to go in this period. Christian obviously on the downside needs to find a way to score some points here for the Cardinals. Christian's one of those dual sport guys here at Collinsville, also plays baseball.
Very good baseball player.
Both athletes kind of looking for their end here.
Waiting for the other one to make a mistake, make a counter, and go. Tell you what, the Fix family is a remarkable group of wrestlers. Their dad, again, being a national champion. Dayton's mom is the daughter of Coach Carstetter, who coached Sand Springs for many years. Oh, that hurt us. That hurt us right there. You can see we got a supporting part on. Sand Springs is on. All right, so wrestling continued. Receives 2 takedown, and Fix takes the neutral position.
So explain to me why he got takedown points there as Moody was still on his feet.
He demonstrated control. Christian went to his knees and then came up. He demonstrated control while he was on his knees.
So we're in the final period here between these two. And there was a Carlstetter also on the team, wrestling at the 126
Yes.
division.
Oh,
Another 2 points there for Sand Springs. So at this point, nothing but a pin would really save Moody in this match, correct? I mean, you're not going to accumulate 8 points by
he's going to
takedowns. And
do a 5-point move, get a reversal with a near fall, and then maybe
okay.
another near fall. Throw a cradle in there, which we're famous for doing.
Down to the last 51 seconds here is Moody.
Boy, he got deep there on the single leg. And there's two. Fix is still on the mat, inbounds with his supporting parts, which are his feet. Christian was out, but demonstrated control, gets a 2-point takedown.
Score now 11-2 here. Fix in control. Another point there for Moody, makes it 11-3.
Right now we'd have to get a takedown with a fall. And
down to 5.
Okay, that's an 8-point victory. That'll be a major decision. That'll be a 4-point win for the Sandites. Coach, do you know what a Sandite is?
Someone who works in the sand.
Wrong.
Someone who plays in the sand.
Jacob Finley is up at 120. He's wrestling John Jimenez.
Jimenez. So are you going to impart your knowledge on what a Sandite is? Or
Their mascot is the Sand.
Yes, I know their mascot. Okay.
And
Sandite
the picture of a Sandite is
Sand Springs wrestler.
Is a militia Minuteman, okay?
Oh, okay.
But a Sandite is a symbol in Sand Springs of someone who you want to be like. They're a role model.
I see.
So.
Now, Google says Sandite is a substance used on railways in the UK, Ireland, and the Netherlands to combat leaves on the line, which can cause train wheels to slip and become damaged with flat spots.
I think in the 20s when they picked their school nickname or logo, the Charles Page Sandites, I don't think they had Google.
So it is a symbol of a person that you would like to be like.
Yes.
So I could think of another mascot that's similar to that in the state of Oklahoma. The Alva Gold Bugs.
The Gold Bugs.
The gold bug doesn't necessarily symbolize an actual bug. It actually comes from what famous author that you were actually disrespecting before we went on air, some of his work. Can you name him?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe is correct, from his literature called The Gold Bug.
I did not know that.
There's a mural on the outside of the Alva High School gym explaining it all. Of course, I know that because I went to college in Alva.
And you ran cross country.
Ran cross country and played basketball at Northwestern. They didn't have wrestling at Northwestern, so I missed out on some of my wrestling education at that point. Didn't have wrestling at Colgate High School either, but we did have it at Grove. Grove has a pretty, has kind of a decent history in wrestling.
Okay, we got a little blood timeout right here. Jacob's got a little boo-boo on his forehead. So
score after that first period is 0-0.
Let's talk just a little bit about your career, Coach. You graduated from Colgate High School, the Wildcats.
Cole County Wildcats, yeah. Colgate in Cole County, the Wildcats.
And you won the 2-mile in track.
Yes, I did.
Did they run cross country?
Yeah, we were in cross country there.
Did you run? Did y'all?
My senior, I didn't move there until January of my junior year. So I didn't run cross country, obviously, for my junior year. Ran it at Grove. Ran track with them that next season. And then my senior year, we got second
Second.
place at the state cross country meet.
You won the 2 mile. You were on the 2 mile relay,
Yes, I was.
and you
We
were
won
on
that
the
back-to-back years. Well, I believe they won it 4 years in a row, but I was on the first 2. There's a point for Sand Springs on the escape. This the 120-pound match here. Senior Jacob Finley working against Jimenez, the Sandites. A lot of filling each other out so far in this match. It's
referee. He's fixing to warn both of them.
need to start
He
wrestling.
wants some wrestling.
Yeah, as does everyone in the gym. Down to 35 seconds and still in the second period and score of just 1-0.
Oh, we had a chance right there.
Yeah, kind of got his feet out from underneath him momentarily. Down to 15 seconds. Finley looking to get something done here before the end of the period.
Coach Price, this is your second full year, or is it your third full
This
year?
is my third full year being teaching and coaching here at Collinsville.
And
I coached 1 year before I was on the teaching staff.
And you did your student teaching. Did you do your student teaching?
No, I'm actually alternatively certified.
Oh. Okay, so that first year you were here, which was 3 years ago?
4 now, yeah.
4 years ago?
I did sub for a period during that year.
Yes.
I subbed in and out of high school, and when Miss Smith retired, she left in the last 4 weeks of school, went ahead and took her early retirement, and there's a point
This
for
is
Finley, so
gonna
that
be interesting right
ties
here.
it up. But anyway, I subbed the remainder of the year out for her that year.
I don't understand why the Sand Springs cut us loose.
Big match here for Collinsville. Finley could really help the team out, scoring 3 points for us. Now, will they go into an overtime?
They will.
Okay. Or would they, is the better question. Finley looks to shoot for the single.
Come up with it. Got the double A.
Oh, has his ankle.
Single A, I'm sorry.
Reaching for his other foot, has the knee. Get the takedown, Jacob. Oh.
Good wrestling on both parts.
Now, since
We
Jacob
shall-
never scored a takedown, the other kid didn't get an escape.
No.
All right.
He never demonstrated control.
Okay. Down to 40 seconds here in the match. Stopping the time at 23.
And this is a situation where coaches drill their athletes right here. 20 seconds to go in the match. Getting a caution, Sand Springs is. Means he started before the referee blew the whistle. But wrestlers drill this situation all the time. Scores tied. Okay. 20 seconds in the match. Go take him down.
They're being patient about it.
I'd like to see both wrestlers be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. Down to 5. Looked like neither of them wanted to make that mistake there, so we will go to the overtime.
This will be a
start up.
1 minute period.
Now, is it sudden death, or will they wrestle to the end of it?
Sudden death the first period, and if there's not a winner in sudden death, then they'll wrestle the full match. 3 1 minute periods. Oh. It's a risky move there at the edge. Throw. Right.
No points awarded there to either side. Getting interesting finally, though. 20 seconds
Be
remain.
aggressive here. Be aggressive.
Ten.
And flip the disc, whose choice it is. And we take the down position, looks like.
So 30 seconds 3 times. Is that how we'll do this, or is it just 30 seconds once?
2 periods. A while ago I said 3 1 minutes. I was wrong. It's a minute and then 2 30-second.
So Finley, if he gets out of this, will score a point. Not much time to do it, though. Needs to be aggressive, needs to be adamant. Down to 10.
Oh, look at here. 2.
No
we
points
didn't get,
awarded.
They said he held on the leg, didn't demonstrate control. Bad break. That's a bad break right there for us.
So now Jimenez gets to start in the down position. Obviously, if he escapes, gets the point.
Yes, that's the advantage.
Finley didn't earn any points in the.
Looks like we have a. I don't know if it's no, it's not a blood timeout, it's just an injury timeout. Very low scoring match, but it's a very exciting match. Some really good wrestling going on.
All right, so Finley needs to hold on for dear life here.
Tried to switch, didn't work. Good counter on the switch, and we're going to get some back points. Oh, good wrestling.
Come on, Jacob.
Come on.
The crowd goes wild. They're wanting some points. Down to 9, 8.
2. We gave a near fall count. We got at least 2. And 3 back points.
So Finley will get the match in an exciting double overtime. 4-1 the final score. Improves the overall score in the match. 6-4. Cardinals lead. Now up is the sophomore Justin Walker facing Cody. Tell me the last name? Carstetter. Rich history you were talking about earlier.
Outstanding, yes.
Walker only a sophomore. This is the 126-pound division.
Justin's a great kid. I don't know if you ever had him in class.
Had him in class. He is a good kid. He's got a single leg here. He's attempting.
Stepping double leg. Come, pull your arm out. Go around the waist. Come on. Come on, pull it through. Keep the leg. Pull it through. Oh, he gave the takedown. So Sand Springs showing control, even though we still have the leg. Okay.
So they've got to get the score.
2-0.
I don't know if they're having a problem clearing the
Well, I think,
match points there. Yeah, they're going to have to clear the whole board.
whoa.
Middle of this match. How much time was on that? Minute something?
Well, we're starting the
okay, minute 12. So they're trying to get the scoreboard figured out here. Looks like they finally got it cleared. Now we'll see if they award those 2 points to Sand Springs. They do. So it looks like we're ready to get back into the action here. And Walker will start from the down position. Interesting, I didn't know that he'd have that opportunity with just the out of bounds that had occurred.
He was taken down.
Oh, okay.
Carstetter took him down.
I see, right out of bounds.
Then they went out of bounds, yes. Both wrestlers have to be aggressive in this position. You have to work for the fall on top. He's got the crossbody right in. He's trying to do a Turk. He's got the leg figured forward. He's got to work a pinning combination up here. He just can't sit there on top of him.
Still no points awarded for what he's done so far since he started with the control. So the score remains 2-0. And that'll end the first period here between Walker and Carstetter.
That's a good stand-up initiated by Carstetter. And a good job by Justin following. All right, countering the stand-up.
Get him, Justin.
While we're watching this match here, again, like the wrestlers would like to thank the Cardinal TV for setting this. What do you call this? A
Broadcast.
Hit his head very hard.
That'll be
That was
2
a
points
reversal.
for this Sand Springs.
Like, I think Justin got his bell wrong. He hit the mat very, very hard. He's a little wobbly right there. Tell you what, even on that mat, you can get a concussion. You can receive. There's a lot of concussions in wrestling from that very instant right there. Wrestler slams his head against the mat and momentarily can lose consciousness. Lots of concussions in this sport. Not everyone doesn't see that, but it's a very contact sport, very tough sport. You know, I was going to say a while ago, like Coach Myers, Kim Myers, and her staff to produce this broadcast. All right, you know, these kids don't receive the recognition that they should receive because they spend a lot of time setting this up.
Yeah, absolutely. And
then
Coach
they gotta
Myers does a
break it
good job
down.
with
Yes.
them, and it's an extracurricular. Absolutely, they don't get a grade for doing it. They don't.
The pay's real good though. I understand.
Yeah, these kids, they make a lot of money doing this.
Coach, you also do some things extra. Also, you produce the school newspaper, which is I think it's great. I enjoy reading it.
Happy to hear that you do. I hope other people do as well. Walker starting the second period here from the down position.
Yes. Well, we were in the second period. Remember, they had he got a reversal over here at the edge of the mat, and he went down and hit his head, and that's why they called timeout.
So, oh, okay.
You produce the school newspaper, and if folks out there want to advertise in the newspaper or advertise on Cardinal TV, they can certainly get a hold of you or Coach Myers.
Contact the high school. They'll tell you how to get a hold of us very quickly, and that's something that would be very beneficial if you're interested in advertising to this Collinsville demographic. It'd be very
and it's
beneficial
a newspaper.
for your business.
You can feel it in your hands.
Official reminding the athletes to not to start their movements until he blows the whistle and until he signifies them to begin. Interesting position Carstetter has Walker in here with the hold on that leg.
He's got it's called a figure four on the leg, and he's trying to just get the body tip using leverage, a cross face or a tilt to score back points.
Walker held his own, however, so we'll move into this third period.
Okay, we got to score some points here. We got to get up and score some points. Now that's going to be a caution on us. You get 2 cautions before you're penalized.
Now to each
like
player or to team?
Each player.
Okay.
It's like a false start in a track meet, which they don't do anymore.
No, I was going to say now they just DQ you at most meets. But that's at now at regionals and state, obviously they've got their rule, but at home meets, does each meet official make their mind up on that? If you're going to do a one false start,
Oh no, it's National Federation rule.
Oh, okay.
All high schools in the United States wrestle by these rules that this official is using and these wrestlers are using tonight. And he gave him 1 point. Keep your head up. Good wrestling. Oh.
2 points scored there for Sand Springs. Now Walker gets a point for the escape. 2-6 is the current score. Carstetter immediately shoots
Good.
low.
Very good on his feet. I don't think we want to do that. So that makes a score. That's 6 points. Watch the toe, referee. Watch the toe. Got that toe up inside there.
Score 8-2 now on that takedown.
He's going to cut him loose again. He went ahead and declared he wanted the neutral position.
So he gives up the point.
5 points.
Trying to score another takedown, I assume.
He's trying to get that major decision.
Which is a win by how many points?
4. Team win. All right, we just received a warning.
Right, you
for
get
stalling.
4, but how much do you get personally? How much does this kid need to win by to get 4 for his team?
7.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Justin received a warning for stalling. He's got to be aggressive here so he doesn't lose another point. And that may not be a bad deal. Two good wrestlers out there. It was a very good match for Justin, a sophomore wrestling the Sand Springs kid. And
he maintained the
We
3-point, he
yes.
kept it to a 3-point
Right.
overall score for Sand Springs there. So
this is going to be an interesting match right here.
I believe they said this is Bratcher facing McGraw here.
Okay, there we go. We got the single leg.
This is senior Dakota McGraw versus
try
Bo
to
Bratcher,
work the
I
trip.
believe.
There we
McGraw
go.
with
There
the
we-
leg.
That is 2. There we go. Demonstrating control. Crossface. There you go. Pressure. Got the half in there, good and tight. Come on. Come on. Take him back to the mat. There you go. Get your hips up. Good job. Good wrestling there.
This is the 132-pound
Boy, I tell you
match.
what, you can tell both these programs, they're junior high wrestlers and they're elementary wrestling. You can tell it takes years of practice to be able to wrestle the skills that these kids are showing tonight.
Ooh, McGrath there had a chance, I felt like.
Good job recovering there.
Yeah. Still just a 2-point lead,
This-
2-0 here. Collinsville now down 6-7 in the team score. Gary Wayne Harding warming up over here on the sideline. He'll be the next match. And I believe Bratcher just scored a point as he gets the escape. McGrath there with the takedown gets
Good
2.
deal. We may wrestle, we may put Eli Tanner out there at 132. Or I'm sorry, at 138 and bump Gary Wayne up to 145.
Lots of guys warming up over there for Collinsville, so you absolutely might be right. It's
Strategy.
interesting to see what they choose to do.
Coach's strategy. I just wish we didn't have to give up that forfeit at 182.
So what you're saying Coach Harding would attempt to do is to avoid the forfeit at 145 by bumping Gary Wayne all the way to that
Yes.
weight?
Yes.
How difficult is that for a wrestler to wrestle up that weight? For him, it would be
It doesn't seem 7
7
pounds
pound
doesn't
weight
seem like that
difference.
much, but
Yeah.
it is, okay?
well, absolutely, especially if you're normally at one weight and the wrestler that's at 145 is normally a 150
Right.
kid. Because oftentimes what they weigh in at is not their true wrestling weight, correct?
Oh, no, they've most of them have,
They drop a couple pounds before they
well,
weigh in.
or more, maybe 12, 15.
Just adjusting my headset's all. I can drop 12, 15 pounds anytime I feel like it too.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Just like, I think I'll weigh this tomorrow. 4-1 is the score here with McGrath in control.
Yeah.
Concedes the point there on the escape, however.
Nice and deep. Come on up with it. There you go.
Looking for another takedown.
He's got to cradle him up. Oh,
Nice, 2
we're gonna get
points
some
there.
near fall here. Settle. Take your time. Settle.
13
there we go.
seconds.
Oh, Oh, if we could get a fall here, it would be great.
Down to 5.
Oh, he's
3,
stuck.
2, 1.
Oh, come on.
3 points awarded there to McGrath,
I'm
and
a
a
little
nice
biased,
move.
But that is some great wrestling by Dakota, I tell you what.
So he moves into this third and final period with a 9-2 lead. That's that 7-point lead you were talking about. Gives the team 4 points. If he did score a pin there, if he was able to score a pin there, the team would be awarded 6 points.
Exactly.
Which would be big in a match or a duel that plans to be as close as this one will be.
Sand Springs still has control, but Dakota sure is in good shape right here. There, he's going for the reverse, pull his head out, power it.
Bratchard.
Step over.
There
and
we go. Another 2 points. 11-2 the score.
A lot of energy right there was used by both wrestlers. Oh, don't give him 2.
Score now 11-4. Still have the 7-point lead. Not anymore. Oh, yeah, moved up to 12. 12-4.
1 minute to go. Watch the firemen. They're pressure into him. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Has him on his back. Can he get the pin? Lots of time. He does it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Nice job there by the senior Dakota McGrath.
Puts us in great shape right here. Yes, it does.
All right. So he improves the score 12-7.
Boy, puts goosebumps all over you.
Good work there.
5A Collinsville Cardinals is holding their own against the number 4 6A Sand Springs Sandites right here, folks.
All right, so we've got the freshman Eli Tanner
Yes.
wrestling at the 138 division, and I believe he's facing Ethan Wicker.
Eli's coming off of a broken ankle. He broke his ankle back before Christmas and was in a boot for a while. And he's just now kind of getting into some wrestling form. I believe this young man's going to be a really good wrestler for us someday. He's strong, very strong in his upper body, very quick.
Only a freshman here, folks. Trying to earn his team some points here and not conceding the 6 like you were talking about if we didn't have somebody to wrestle in this division.
Exactly.
So
Very
really,
tough situation
yeah,
for
good
us.
job, and speaks well to this kid's character. He's willing to step into this position for his team.
He's one of our little freshman football players.
What position does he play in
He's
football?
a defensive back and a receiver, and all of our kicking game. Very reliable kid.
Score 0-0 here
See how
in this
quick he
period.
is right there, I
Yeah,
tell you what.
very nice footwork. Little Band-Aid or something falling off.
Yeah, put tape on his fingers. It fell off. If you need tape, go get it retaped. If you don't, why put it on there?
Tanner is a big-looking freshman kid here.
Yeah, he's a stocky little old guy. I tell you what.
About how tall is he?
About my height.
So very tall.
Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving.
That's,
right at the
man,
buzzer.
unfortunate to give up 2 right before the end of the period. He'll start from the down position, so he'll have an opportunity to get one of those points back here. And if he were to reverse this, can you reverse this position?
Oh, yes.
And you score what for that?
2. 2 points.
Just
for
2. You
reversal.
don't get 1 for the escape and then 2 for a reversal?
No.
No. Okay.
No. You get 1 for an escape and 2 for a takedown.
Right.
but just do a reversal. If you just trade control,
I see.
right, then you just get two. Coach, didn't they have wrestling at Grove High School?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I would watch it occasionally, but
Nice stand up right there.
just didn't know a lot about really what was going on. But yeah, Grove won the state championship, I believe, when my sister was in high school
Well, good.
in wrestling. Coaching them now is the legendary John Henry Ward.
Big John.
Big John wrestled at OU. Point there for Tanners. He
Good job.
scores the escape. 2-1 now. Score in favor of Wicker and the Sandites.
Oh, keep that hip lock in there. Attaboy. Come on, there you go. Oh, don't give it up. Oh,
Gives up another 2 there. Any points he can save his team, though.
I'll
Are
tell you what,
good
the more
points.
I watch this Sand Springs kid, the more I like Eli's chances of having a chance to win.
Yeah.
Just don't make any mistakes. Wait for him to make a mistake. Be aggressive.
There you
There
go.
you go. Coming out with a oh.
Another 2 there.
Or near fall.
Six to 1 here, the score at the end of this period.
See, Eli weighed in at 130 pounds, and he's wrestling this kid which weighs 138 pounds. So he's giving up 8 pounds. And in the lighter weights, that's a lot of weight. I mean, some people don't realize just 5 pounds means a lot with when someone's on top of you.
Yeah, especially if this is an older kid.
And
You know,
he
he
is.
might have some experience on Eli here. Final period here. Be great if Eli could keep this within or underneath that 7-point margin.
Oh, definitely.
Not
Oh,
to
there we go.
concede. There he gets the point. That's nice.
Come on, son. Follow.
6 to 2
Now, come
now.
up with it.
Come
Come up
on,
with it.
Eli.
Come on. Switch it out. There you go.
Got
Turn
an
into it.
opportunity here.
Keep him on the mat. Keep him on the mat.
Just under a minute.
Come on. Back there. Pull it. There's
Getting
two.
coached
There's-
up.
Good. Oh, we going to get some near fall.
Oh, out of bounds is the call.
Oh.
6 to 4 now the score with 53 seconds, and Eli Tanner really turning it on. Gets another takedown, and we'll be tied up. Of course, he's going to start here with the advantage.
Go for the near fall. We want to try to turn him. Come on, bump him down. Let's go break him down.
He's got control of Wicker's right leg. And Wicker scores the escape. 7 to 4 the new score.
Good aggressive wrestling. Get your head up.
Stand him up here in the middle.
tell you what, I'm proud of Eli's effort.
Yeah, that's a really good job by him. He had an opportunity there to win that match at one point, and a good job. Wicker will win it 7-4. So the team score is now 12-10. Gary Wayne Harding up a weight class, wrestling the 145 weight class against Michael Singleton.
And that wrestler is very tall.
Yeah.
Sand Springs.
Yeah, he's a 146 guy, and Gary Wayne's a
Yeah.
138.
Yes. A lot of weight difference, a lot of leverage difference right here.
But
But
we're also
the-
talk about a kid
a
that's
three
signed
times-
to wrestle at Oklahoma
Always-
State
yeah.
University, the best wrestling college
Yes.
in the nation.
A 3-time state champion, multi tournament.
Right, lots of
wins.
national
Yes.
awards on this guy's belt, and he's already got a 2-point advantage. And stuff like this is what makes him, I'm sure, the wrestler that he is, wrestling up in weight classes against bigger, stronger guys. Maybe not stronger, but definitely bigger.
Bigger, yes. And the height advantage means an awful lot, the leverage with a taller. I tell you what, Gary Wayne has got the greatest work ethic. I've been out cutting wood with Gary Wayne and his dad, and this young man, he works me in the ground. I have to beg him for rest.
He's working for something here.
He's got his legs in. He's looking for a cradle. He's going to try to work that cradle. Sand Springs, I don't think realizes how strong the cradle is with Gary Wayne.
So what do you think Michael Singleton was thinking when he looked at a void in his early matchup and then figured out he had to wrestle Gary Wayne Harding?
Oh no.
Oh, man. Get the takedown.
You know, you wrestle just like in track. If you go out and you run against a 3-time state champion, you have to line up and run against that guy right next to you has won 3 of them, or that girl. Or you wrestle someone who's a 3-time state champion. The psychological, right?
Yeah.
The mind game that plays on the underdog. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely, and also the confidence it gives the kid, gives Gary Wayne wrestling up weight classes.
Sure. Coach, you're coaching the distance folks in track.
Mm-hmm.
And did y'all go outside today?
No, it's 28 degrees, and
It's a little nippy, wasn't it?
yeah, and the sun was out, and Coach Myers tried to convince me to take him outside.
Oh, Coach Myers, I saw her bundle up and go out for a walk.
A walk. Yeah, and we've actually been pretty fortunate to run outside early in January. Now this last week wasn't good for it, and obviously didn't get outside today.
Well, Gary Wayne is trying to get the fall. He's working hard. Get the double in there.
And I see what you mean on the leverage that the taller guy has.
Oh.
I can see what you're talking about with his defense being able, he's able to defend against that.
This is good for Gary Wayne to have to wrestle this hard because he has so many falls in the early parts of his matches.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to wrestle someone heavy. This is good for him later on down the line, going for that cross-face cradle again. If I was down there close to the mat, I'd be hollering and stalling at that official. That Sand Springs boy is not trying. Here we got a tip. Here we go. We got a 2-second count. We got 2 points there. Should be awarding it right there.
There we go.
2 points from there.
Ooh. Singleton lucky to get out of bounds at that point because Harding had just kind of managed to maintain control of both arms.
We have a really good crowd here tonight, Coach. Sand Springs brought a really nice crowd here tonight. Looks like
And a lot of people over there on the home side for
Yes.
Collinsville.
good turnout. A lot of interest in high school wrestling here in Collinsville.
And there should be. This team ought to have a lot of support wherever they go. Even have a decent student body section over
Yes. And and we have a basketball game being played tonight too.
there against our rivals
Yes.
in Uligaw. 4-0 the score going into this third period.
I sure hope those English teachers didn't give these kids a bunch of homework.
I mean, I made them write a 5-page essay tonight. But I don't know what the other English teachers made their kids do.
We have wonderful faculty that give our kids ample time to
Another 2 there for
do their
Harding.
assignments for a tip. Yes.
And Singleton's just working to the outside of the circle every time. He hasn't managed an escape yet, but he's
Gary Wayne's on him like glue, isn't he?
yep.
Got the toss right in there, right there. Got him barred up again. Got to keep the wrist up, even with the waistline. Can't bring it up towards the shoulder on the chicken wing right there. Another tilt. Got
3 points there. So he's got the 9-0 lead. All that's left for Harding to do to improve his overall points for the team would be to get the pin.
Another tilt right there. 2 points. Got another 2 point going for it. Gave us 3. Good deal. Had a 5-second count. Doing it again. Didn't hold him. One. There's
Get
two.
it.
There's 3. We got a 3-point count. 15. Technical fall. Got a technical fall right here. That's worth 15 points.
All right. So is that if you score 15 points?
If you beat your opponent at any time during the match, you go up 15 points. It's called the technical fall, and they stop the match because the wrestlers demonstrated obvious control.
Right. I see. So Collinsville takes a 20-10 lead here with that Harding win. And we got Wyatt Jordan up facing Jared Stice. This
Nice
is the
double leg right here.
152-pound
Finish button.
division.
I'm sorry. Switch to double. There we go. Good
2
job.
points there for Jordan. Wyatt Jordan didn't wrestle last year, back on the team this year, and I'm sure that's a welcome addition for Coach Harding, as Wyatt Jordan is a very good athlete and, from what I've heard, a great wrestler.
And he's worked very hard to get to this point. His conditioning, he knew back before Christmas he was going to have to work hard to get in shape, and he's done a great job getting here. Come on.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
3 points there for Jordan. So the score 5-0 early in this one for Wyatt Jordan. Facing Jared Stice. Wyatt Jordan, I believe, was a member of the first state championship team.
Yes.
Wyatt wanted to establish good control of that left arm here of Stice's. Now tries for, what are you calling that, a near fall?
Near fall, yes.
Okay.
It's got to break 45 degrees, the shoulder does.
Official counting.
Their fall points coming up here. There's a 5-second count, 3 points.
All right, so Jordan improves the score 8-0. That all within that first period.
Yes.
The team score is 17-10. I said 20-10 a moment ago. It's actually 17-10 in the Cardinals' favor. Gonna give up 6 though when we get to that 182-pound bout.
Right. We got control right
Another
there.
2 points there.
Graham, good job. All right.
Minute 25 in the second.
Getting their fall points right here. There's 3. Another 3 points. We're going to try to. We're going to stick him. Pull at it. We're going to stick him.
And he does. With 46 seconds to go in the
great.
second period, Wyatt
effort,
Jordan just
Wyatt.
dominating the match. Second pin of the
Cardinal
evening
Nation
here.
is coming through. Yes, it is.
Wyatt Jordan pointed to his student body up there, giving him a little love for
Yes,
showing out
yes.
tonight.
Yes.
So now the Cardinals take a 23-10 lead. Josh Arnold up.
Oh,
Arnold facing Lane Latish. This the
I believe he's a
160-pound
senior.
bout. The kid, he's
Russ
yeah,
is
the
a senior.
sophomore Josh Arnold. He looks mature. Arnold almost reversing that.
It's tough when you're a freshman, sophomore, wrestling those seniors. They just mature. Some of them are 18, 19 years old, you know, and they just.
They've been doing this their whole lives.
Yes.
Because that's the kind of sport wrestling is. Wrestling is one of those sports that I know for a lot of these guys, they've been doing it, like you talked about earlier, from elementary on.
They do.
So you're talking about, you know, a sophomore wrestling an 18-year-old that's been doing it his whole life. That's a pretty big advantage. Score 2-0 here. Latish with the advantage.
Come on. Come on, Josh. Come on, Josh. Get your head off of that. Got the wing and the bar arm, and it's got control. He calls a stalemate. That's a good call there by the official. Give Josh a fresh start right here. Got to clear that leg. Coach, a while ago, we kind of touched a little bit on track. Track's getting in the swing of things. They have the track team, boys and girls, go to Enid on February 14th.
Valentine's Day.
That's a big
In case
day.
you didn't know, that's a
big
day you might want to remember to get your wife a card or something.
But they traveled to Enid to the Enid Indoor Meet, which is sponsored by Hennessy High School.
Yeah?
And the superintendent at Hennessy High School, who is also the track coach,
He's a real jerk.
is of kin to you. Is that correct?
Yes. Happens to be my father.
And I've known your father for many years. He was an excellent football coach and track coach. Chose to go in administration and still maintained his ties to the coaching profession, my coaching track, and encouraged his boosters to buy this indoor track that Enid, that they use at the facility there at Enid. It's a really nice facility, but they got a really good buy on that thing, and they make a lot of money.
Well, they're able to host a meet 2 days back to back. So they hosted on Friday and then on Saturday. Friday for the small schools, and I believe it's Small School Friday. It's either Small School Friday or Small School Saturday. But they host it Friday and Saturday, which is smart because you got to set that track up, which is a lot of labor. You have to have heavy equipment to do so, and they're able to just kind of get it out of the week or out of the way in a 2-day span, and bring in a lot of schools who want to get just a little bit of competition in this winter season.
We got Josh received a warning. You know, that track, if it's the same track I'm thinking of, and I've seen it for a long time, that track's been around for a long time. It's a wooden track. And
looks like cardboard, though.
And if you've never seen a wooden track, the bank on them is really, it's probably what the bank is at least 4 feet high.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the inside line, the outside line. The distance of the track is what, about 200?
I think it's shorter than 200 around.
Shorter than 200, 180, 190
yeah.
maybe. And it's, but realize, Coach, I ran on that track when I was in college.
You ran track at what's now UCO?
Yes.
Wow.
I ran for Charles Murdoch.
What events did you run at the college level?
I was a quarter miler. I ran what was then with the 440, but is now the 400 meter, and the what was then the mile relay is now the 1600 meter relay, and the short relay, which the 400 meter back then, the 440 relay.
Josh Arnold down 12-4 here in the third period. Needs to do whatever he can to maintain the distance here between he and Latish.
That major decision point. We got another warning.
What are they giving him warnings about? Stalling or
Stalling,
what? Okay.
Yes.
Another 2 there for Sand Springs. Escape for Arnold, 15-5. Like we mentioned earlier, Arnold did a fantastic job playing inside linebacker for you guys this year.
Oh, great kid. Tough.
I hear that about him all the time from you, the football coaching staff. What a tough-minded kid he is. And not just mine, he is not afraid to go hit a guy.
And he's a good student, and he's a good kid. He's the kind of kid you like to coach. Right now, he's just a little overmatched by this Sand Springs Sandite, and Josh will not have to wrestle this kid anymore. Is this kid's going to graduate?
So 19-5 is the victory there.
Going to be a 4-point win for Sand Springs. And
Next up for the Cardinals is the sophomore Corey Cash. He's facing Trace Fleshman. This is the 170-pound division.
Fleshman's dad's one of the coaches over here.
Okay.
Coach Fleshman was a state champion for Sand Springs back in the day. Great athlete, all-state football player. So just a great bloodline. I look at this Sand Springs bench. Jay Fleshman was one of their coaches, was a state champion. Fix was a national champion. Kelly Smith was their head coach, was a state champion. I mean, just tons of experience on this Sand Springs staff on our bench. Both coaches. Extremely experienced, great wrestlers back in their day.
2 points scored there for Sand Springs.
It's difficult to coach wrestling if you've never wrestled.
Absolutely.
You know, I really enjoy going into the workout room and watching our kids practice because Wes does such a great job of practice structure and his organization and pushing the kids. It's a hot room most of the time, which it needs to be so they can lose weight. There are days when the room is cool, but it allows the wrestlers an opportunity to shed those pounds that they need to each day. But it's just a very organized. He pushes the kids. He's just a great coach, and Coach Henry and
John Benham.
Coach Benham do a great job of encouraging those kids, making them work hard.
Cash down 2-0 here to Fleshman.
Again, this Fleshman kid, he's been wrestling since he was about 3 years old.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And Corey, I know Corey's wrestled in our junior high program, but I don't know how far back he goes in elementary. But
well, and when you're living at home with a guy that is a state champion, you know, you're going to have you're kind of living that environment also.
Oh, definitely.
From the time he was, you know,
kind of like your
old.
dad making you get out and run.
Oh, yeah. That's why I love it so much. But that's exactly right. You know, it's part of their family culture, just like running was a part of the culture in my family growing up. I don't know what other little kids did on the weekends when they weren't at AAU track meets.
In the summer when it's 106.
I love to tell the story of my older sister. Well, I've got two older sisters. One, Carly, who ended up running at Division I level in Louisiana, and my sister Mackenzie, who's kind of more like on my side. She leaned more towards me. Carly was really ambitious with running, whereas Mackenzie and I, we were a little less ambitious with running, especially myself at an early age. I found more interest in it as I got older. But at an AAU meet one time, we're really young. Like, I know I was always too young to really, like, I was the youngest kid in the events, you know, too young to be in even the age division. They just threw me in there. One time to get a medal, he put her in the speed walking race.
I like
so
your
that's a fun
animation
story.
there. I wish I had
yes.
camera.
'Cause there's rules on that. You gotta, you gotta. I don't know. I don't remember it. I just like to tell the story.
Yes.
She doesn't mind me repeating it, I'm sure.
Well, the world just heard it.
Yes. All right. Corey
good
scoring
job.
2 points
Good
there,
move.
which really excites the crowd. Hopefully that motivates Corey here and going into this third period. This would be a huge match for Collinsville to score some
definitely.
points in. Officials, there he goes, finally rewards those 2 points to Fleshman. Four to 2 now the score. So, just like when, you go into a football game, you go into a basketball game, you, as an opposing coach, you know a lot about the team you're going to face, right? Football, obviously, more than any other sport, but in basketball, you know about the players that you're going to face. You've got your matchups. Is it the same way for Coach Harding when he comes into this? Does he know a lot about each of the individual wrestlers for Sand Springs teams?
Oh, yes, and because a lot of these kids wrestled elementary, they go to tournaments. A lot of these kids have been wrestling each other since they were 4 or 5 years old. And if they didn't wrestle each other, they saw them wrestle. And so they give their teammates scouting reports, hey, this guy likes to duck under when he's on his feet in the down position. He's going to hit a stand-up or he's going to hit the switch. Or yes, he's a cradle guy. Everybody, they know each other fairly well.
All right, so leading up to this duel, they've worked, Corey's worked on this kid specifically, perhaps, in this week coming up to this?
Knowing what this kid can do, if Corey wrestled, especially in elementary. But Coach Harding knows what the freshman kid's capable of doing, yes. And Corey's doing an excellent job against this kid, I'll tell you what.
He's got 30 seconds left, and the score is 4 to 2.
Really encouraged by his efforts.
That'll do it for the 170-pound match. Fleshman wins it 4 to 2. Pretty good job there by Corey Cash,
really
maintaining some points there for the team in the match, and did a nice job there for the Collinsville Cardinals. So Sand Springs creeping back up on the Cardinals. Now the score 23 to 17. Gary Olivier on the match now, or on the mat now.
I'm really proud that Gary has come out to help this program. He was in baseball. Keenan Hamilton hurt his knee, couldn't feel the weight. Gary stepped up, came up to Coach Harding and said, hey, if you want me to, I'll come out and wrestle for you. And here he is, giving great effort. And these next 3 matches are going to be very exciting, I'll tell you what.
Well, score is now, after the 182 forfeit, 23 all. I believe the score, it says 2 to 0. I thought they'd already scored another takedown. We'll just go ahead and stick with the scoreboard for now, though. So Gary probably didn't get with this team until very recently.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right. Since Christmas.
Wow.
This is not good.
be a pin. That's Delvin Jordan with the pin here at the 195 weight.
That kid's a freshman too, Coach.
Wow, he's a
He
big
started
kid.
at defensive end for the Sandites in football on the high school team.
Wow, freshman starting in 6A football.
Yes.
All right, so with that, Sand Springs improves the score 29-23. Keenan Pretty will face Kyler Childer here. This is a big match for the Cardinals. Only 2 to go. I imagine Pretty would be the favorite of our next 2 guys up to wrestle. This is the 220-pound division. These guys really getting after it so far, which I like to see out of the bigger weight classes.
Lots of movement.
Keenan Pretty played at defensive end for the football team this year, did a really good job. He's an energy guy. Your other defensive end had a great season too. What's his name? Justin. What's Justin's last name? I can't think of it right now.
I'm sorry, I just put my headset on. What'd you say?
Justin. What is Justin's last name?
Kofi.
Kofi. He had a great season as,
Oh,
as
yes.
defensive
Justin
end as
had
well.
a great season. And Justin, I tell you what, is a great leader in our weight room right now.
Really?
He has really stepped up. Yes, he's done a great job.
No points at this juncture of the match.
Well, we started out with a lot of motion.
Yeah. Kind of slowed down a little bit.
I love these stools.
All right. Score 0-0 after the end of the first period. Childer will start in the down position here. See what Pretty can get done.
Keenan was 5A state runner-up last year, 2013 state tournament. Has a lot of confidence. Ought to be able to go out there and score some points on this Sandite.
Childer has scored a point on the escape.
Matter of fact, if I remember right, I felt like he should have won the match. He got
yeah, I think he felt like he should have too.
A point. There was a point in the match. The referee didn't award points when they should have.
And that brings up something I wanted to talk about. If you haven't been down to the state tournament or state wrestling tournament at the Big House in Oklahoma City, it is really something you ought to go do. And not, I mean, hopefully if you're involved at all with Collinsville schools, you'll go down to support this team. But it is so neat to go. They've got 4 matches going on at all times. It's very entertaining. There's a lot going on, and it's a really neat experience to go down and win.
You've been there.
Absolutely, I went last year.
Well, good.
And watched our guys
win
it all.
It is entertaining and exciting, and it's loud.
Loud as it should be. I mean, it's the championship. What I don't know is who got second last year at the tournament. as a team. Do you know who got second?
In 5A?
Yes.
No, I don't.
It might have been Altus. I know they're normally pretty good. I think that's who we beat in dual state, our first dual state championship. Oh, my.
What do they say? You only remember who was first?
That's right. Nobody remembers second place. Still 1-0 the score here at the end of the second period.
We have to win this match to have a chance. Give us a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, because now we're down 6.
Give us a chance.
All right, so Sand Springs concedes the point there and starts with both guys up. 1-1 is the new score. See if Pretty can get anything done here in the third period. Help his team out. Childers seems to be more the aggressor at this point in the match. So every time that Collinsville hosts a wrestling match, we got to haul these mats over. Is that correct? From middle school?
No.
They're storing them here nowadays?
Yes. That mat is very light. They roll up very easy. And back in the old days, back when you were a pup, they were very, very heavy.
Oh, yeah, I can remember playing on them.
But today they're very light. Space age. NASA.
Score's still 1-1 here. 35 seconds to go. Jake Douglas warming up for the heavyweight bout, which is still to come. Down to 15. Not a whole lot of action. So that'll be the end of regulation here for Pretty. So we go to that 1 minute overtime, and it is or is not sudden death. First guy scores, it's in.
Right here it is, I believe.
That's 2 for Sand Springs. So that'll be the match.
One of the great things about wrestling is that each wrestler has an opportunity to go out and wrestle his own match. It is a team sport. There is a team identity, but each wrestler has their own identity also.
All right, so Jake Douglas up now for the final match of the evening. I believe, to me, it looks like he must be wrestling Peyton Ayers, who's actually a 202-pound guy,
Yes.
and who, in contrast to Douglas, is 270.
Yes,
So Douglas has an obvious weight advantage here.
it's weight versus quickness, and the strength usually goes with the heavier guy. Jake comes from a background of really good wrestling also. He has an uncle who was a state champion for Collinsville back in the day. And Jake has wrestled since he was a little guy. Does a great job on the football team. Probably one of our better linemen. Has really improved his conditioning and his shape over since this past summer. Had a little knee injury last spring and brought it along and had a great season for us in football. What we got here? I'll restart us.
Yeah, I think his headgear got twisted. No points scored yet. Got to think if Jake could get this thing to the ground, it would be to his advantage.
Definitely.
He's working for it.
I'm still proud of our Cardinals tonight. They've battled hard every match, and it's still a great sign for us. Again, we had to give up some points, and our Will Stelson didn't get to wrestle tonight. And I know that's part of athletics, but in a big match like that, you hate to see injuries prevent kids from being able to wrestle.
Yeah, and Rock Robbins wasn't able to come out tonight either. So those are definite factors in what will be the final outcome of this match. Unless Jake Douglas can score a 10-pointer, which I'm pretty sure you can't do in wrestling.
No, not these days. There we go.
Point there for Douglas. So is the maximum weight you can weigh as a heavyweight 285?
Yes.
Can't weigh more than that and still wrestle heavyweight.
No. Back in the day,
free for all?
There was no weight limit for heavyweights.
Ayers trying to score a takedown here against Douglas.
Got the hip lock in there. That keeps us in the neutral position.
Douglas trying to use his strength to reverse here. Doing a good job of keeping his balance.
Come on, pressure on the hip lock. Pressure. Oh, don't let him rubber armor. Oh, he's going to get two here. Jake can't go off the mat now. He's got to wrestle to the mat, to the center. And not yet. He's got to. Don't give it up.
He just keeps dragging him back in.
Keep the hip lock in there. Oh, don't give it up, son.
2 points.
Coach Harding's going to question that call.
Looks like Ayers used a lot of energy as he's kind of slow to stray away from his coaches over there. Of course, Harding kind of discussing the call with the official. So 2-1 the score
even
now.
though we didn't agree with that call, we got a warning for Coach Harding questioning that call. It ended well.
Pat on the back?
The pat on the back.
Everybody wants to be friends at the end of the day. All right, so Douglas here will get to kind of use his advantage in weight. Probably the moment Ayers was not looking forward to. Douglas needs to do something with it here as the score is 3-1. Have to work from this position. Douglas reaching, trying to grab that left ankle. He's got it. Now he had control of it with his legs. Working for something else now. Trying to get the left arm. Plenty of time.
Put a half in there. Put a hammer on there. Do something with it.
Come on, Jake.
There you go. Got it across.
"35 seconds. Like to see Douglas do something here with this position. He's down 3-1. He's trying to turn him. They're out of bounds. Scoreboard wanting a word with the official. So did Sand Springs get I should say Ayers get a point for the warning against?
No.
Well, how'd they?
It was a team warning.
Oh, okay. 20 seconds.
Kind of like sideline warning.
Yeah, I just didn't know how he got to 3. I know I saw him get the takedown points. I didn't see him get an escape point. And that's going to do it. Final score this evening, 35-23. Sand Springs ranked 4th in Class 6A gets the victory over the Cardinals. Still a good match for the Cardinals. They gave up 6 automatically at the 182 division, and Gary Olivier gets pinned. He's only been wrestling for a few weeks now, been back in the swing of wrestling. So maybe a little bit closer than what the final score indicates, and really the Cardinals were in control up until about the 160 division.
They were.
All right.
Great match. Enjoyed working with you tonight. You did an outstanding job.
Always a pleasure, Tom.
Coach Myers, outstanding job.
Kaylee Byram, Zach Hubbard, Spencer Beeson.
Little B, as we call him. Got the big B and a little B.
That's the staff tonight, and everybody did do a great job, and we'll see you at the next Cardinal TV outing.